All right, awesome. Hey, this is Savannah and Alan and Gary of the Kamikaze team, and happy anniversary, you guys!
Yay! We made another year.
We went a whole another rotation around the sun.
Yeah. And so, for those of you who don't know, on this day we launched the Kamikaze comic back in 2014.
14, yeah.
14, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's 2020 now. That was crazy.
So it's been 6 years? 6 years?
6 years, yeah. Yeah, so basically I just wanted to reflect on the comic with you guys and kind of like just kind of have a quick chit chat about, where the comic's been over the past few years. Well, unfortunately, I wish we could have recorded this in person, but
Yeah.
womp womp. So I'll just jump into it. My first question for all three of us is like, what has been the most surprising thing in the past 6 years since the comics launched?
I think for me, it's been sort of just the circuitous path we've been taking. Like we started off as an idea for an animated series, then we went to the web comic, and we went to, started doing all these conventions, and then we got our Kickstarter to, do physical books.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're back around to the animation side of things, and it's just been sort of this wild whiplash of a trip.
Yeah, I can agree with that. What about you, Havana?
Yeah, not a bad thing at all. I think the most surprising thing is just like how engaged our readers have been over the past few years. I've always wanted to. It's always been a dream of mine to build something that could resonate with so many people, and like behind Kamikaze is a whole graveyard of creative ideas that have died in my head. So I don't know, I just really like meeting fans, which is actually one of the most heartbreaking things about 2020. One of my favorite parts about this whole project is going to conventions and meeting like the readers who have stuck with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's a whole community of folks that I'm really missing out on hanging out with. I'm glad that the conventions aren't happening this year for health and safety reasons. Like this is something which needs to happen. We're a comic about the aftermath of a pandemic. This is kind of our wheelhouse. Like, no, let's take this seriously.
For me, one of the most surprising things was just how excited a lot of the people behind the scenes are when it comes to the animated short.
Mm-hmm.
So, the fact that, I just showed Monica Rial a picture of Audrey. I think it was the page where Audrey's like, Orson, you idiot. And she was like, I want to play her. Where do I audition? Like that was shocking to me.
Yeah.
It was so shocking to me to have somebody look at our work and say, yeah, I absolutely want to be part of this. Let's go.
Yeah.
And to have, Danny and Kevin, Damon, everybody just like absolutely on board and so into it. Like, the thing is that when you're working with voice actors, it's almost like they have to become super fans of the characters in order to kind of get into their heads.
Mm-hmm.
So, the fact that, Kevin is so into Link as a character, just like really, really vibes with him, and just how much they put themselves into it. And to see somebody put that much work into characters we created is just really moving. And I guess I would have thought we just like grabbed some friends off the street and just said, hey, let's do this. But we got like actual professionals, and they're actual professionals who are really, really excited. And that's definitely surprised me.
And it's been a huge learning experience. What would you say the biggest lesson you've learned in the last 6 years has been?
Oh boy.
So many. Okay, so for me, I feel like I thought I was progressive before I started this project.
That's been a big learning process.
this project, like honestly, if I'm going to be candid, I loved Markeisha's character design, and I kind of like didn't realize how, like, I didn't really, it wasn't like, oh, I want to work on this because it's a Black character or anything like that. Like, I just loved her design, and I loved the story. I loved, this whole world that you guys built.
Right.
And I think like one of the most important lessons was just like this whole project has given me the opportunity and like pushed me out of my comfort zone to kind of really learn about representation in media, diversity in the creative process. It's been very eye-opening, and I honestly don't think I would have learned as much if I didn't work on this project.
I can absolutely agree with that. The amount that I have learned, the amount of, there's so much out there, like even before I started, that I had to research and I really had to dig into. And then even now, like 6 years later, I'm still learning new things. Mm-hmm. And on one hand, I find that both really, really uplifting, because it's sort of like there is no perfection. It's sort of like it is always a constant process of learning and unlearning and relearning different things. And the fact that, you're going to get it from various different avenues and areas. And I don't know, I guess for me, I feel like sort of riding off of that, I feel like Kamikaze has, made us better people because we've had to meet that bar, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think like it's really forced us to learn how to take criticism.
Absolutely.
As well,
Right. And I think for me, the biggest lesson is the importance of like endurance in a project like this, and not just from the creative or productive standpoint, but just from like you're saying, like there's always something more to learn. There's always some way to either improve what you're doing technically on the project, to improve what the message you're saying in the project, to improve the representation in it, to improve what we're doing on the back end to make it a better project for everyone. And yeah, I think that's been my biggest takeaway on all this. It's just been such a lesson in endurance, and how that doesn't have to be a taxing thing. Like the endurance doesn't have to be a taxing thing. Like how to kind of structure like some sustainable patterns into all of this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the other biggest lessons that I've learned is the lessons of avoiding perfectionism. And that's one thing that Havana has been on me for quite a while, and she's been very patient. You've been incredibly patient with me on that front.
Okay, well, I think like to counter that as well, like you guys have taught me, I think you and I have an interesting dynamic, because I'm like, let's get it done. What's the fastest, like easiest, cheapest way to get this done? And you're more about the craft. And I think we both balance each other out. So like, I've helped you kind of step away from your perfectionism, but you've also helped me kind of like hone my craft in this as well. Like it's, I think teamwork is the other big lesson from this whole project. It's interesting because like this is definitely the most successful creative project I've worked on, and I think it's honestly because like we balance friendship and teamwork. Like I think we're pretty good at like kind of compartmentalizing, like if I'm critiquing you for your art, or if I'm bringing up something critical about the business, you guys are willing to listen, and vice versa. And I think like that's very rare to find.
Yeah, it can be. It's really rare.
It can
be. And I think we, to your point, I think we do a good job balancing that. I mean, we all have our rough days, but I think we do a great job balancing it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That was definitely a big lesson. So I guess with all the lessons that we've learned, is there anything like coming into the future that we're all like really, really excited about, or looking forward to?
aside from the animated short, spin-off anthology, book 3 and 4, and whatever 2021 holds positive in the future. I don't know.
I'm excited about getting together again.
Yeah.
Yes, that for sure.
Going to conventions again.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I'm like, I'm with you guys. I'm on the fence because I'm like, I'm glad the conventions aren't happening because of health reasons, but man, I do miss them.
Yeah.
But the short, every time I see a little bit more of the short, I just get excited again.
Yeah.
And it completely lifts my spirits. We just recently did a Black Comics Chat interview with Lee Shorten and Danny Chambers, and just hearing them talk about the project again, I was like, oh my God, yes. So even though like 2020 has been rough, and I know all 3 of us have been burnt out and just very low energy, I think like little things like that, like seeing a little bit more of the animation, or moving forward with the comic, or seeing like even like lettering this new anthology, like I'm seeing Aaron's work, I'm seeing Takia's work. I'm like, oh my God, this is like beautiful. It's definitely excited again.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it too.
The anthology is definitely one that I'm so thrilled for too, because the work that everybody has done in this project has just been phenomenal, between Angel and Takia and Aaron, and then all of our amazing writers. It's just,
and there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff we haven't been able to show folks yet that I'm really excited to show.
Yeah, the behind the scenes is always fun, and I'm excited for that. I'm also just excited to see what people think of the short when it's done. Like, I'm looking forward to the day where we show it in a theater and we get to hear people's reactions.
Yeah.
As it plays out. So
when you know.
Yeah. When that happens.
Yeah. I am excited to see what people think. I don't know, it's like I love our little baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all love it very much. So that's true.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that too. And I'm looking forward to possibly doing more projects like it in the future.
Yes.
I'm definitely looking forward to doing new things in addition to Kamikaze. So I'm also really looking forward to expanding our team and getting especially more own voices on here. I enjoy writing Kamikaze, but I feel like there's points where, I want to bring other people into it. So not so I have less work to do, but more so that it's more authentic work, if that makes sense. So it's one of the things that I'm really, really excited about in the future, having a writing team and not just you guys giving me awesome notes and then me going and writing it by myself.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to all the collaborators we have worked with over the years. I mean, and there's so many people to name, but like, I mean, the anthology kind of shows like how much we've grown, because I think our collaborators really kind of push the envelope onto some of these characters and concepts. And like, I mean, reading, like I'm in the process of lettering the Son of a Jackal story by Robert Jeffrey right now, and I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen? The character we created. So it's pretty interesting. I feel like we learn as much, if not more, from our collaborators as well. And it's not just the anthology collaborators, it's all the people behind the scenes who have helped us with the script.
Like DeAndre Seabrook, Janelle Jones, Lisa Kirk, Helen Kell, so Justin Peniston, Michael Harbour, like so many people. And it's almost impossible to name everybody, because it's just like, wait, did I forget someone?
It's a lot, and I mean, I'm thankful for everyone who their time and efforts and like talents. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's great, and I'm looking forward to being able to grow that village. You know, it takes a village to raise a kid, and I'm looking forward to growing that village out more, while still being really grateful to everyone who's helped up so far.
Absolutely. I'm just so excited for what the future holds. And I mean, at this point, if we were back in 2014 and somebody had said, okay, so you're going to make this awesome world. You guys are going to come up with these great characters. You're going to make the art just look fucking phenomenal. And everyone is going to love it, but not know where to put it. And then you're going to make a web comic out of it. And then you're going to get your comics published. And then you're going to do an animated short based off of that. And you're not going to be going through any like major corporations or anything. You're going to be doing all this yourself. I'd be like, that sounds awful. Like, what did we do wrong? It's sort of like,
wait until we tell you about world politics.
But it's just like, man, like the fact that, you know, looking back, I don't think I'd have done it any other way, because it feels like we're doing kind of that, as another friend of ours said at one point, like we're doing it the kind of indie punk rock way, where it's sort of like, I mean, even right now, doing major corporation, you know, filming and all this sort of stuff, like there's only so much that they can do during a pandemic. Yeah. And it's sort of like, even before that, it's sort of like we weren't really on their radar, because it's only now during the pandemic that they're realizing, oh, adults watch animation. Huh.
Oh my God.
So weird. So, yeah.
Either like never, I guess.
Yes. Well, here's to another year.
Here's to another
yes. My seltzer.
Yay!
Yay!
And we'll reconvene back here in 2021.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. Happy anniversary, you guys, and
thank you to all of our fans and helpers.
Yes,
thank you.
All
so
of our
much.
fans, helpers, collaborators, you guys rock. All of our backers. You guys.
Things are coming. We promise.
Yeah, we promise. Things are coming. It's just COVID.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.